Alright, this is module 9.2, part 2. And they're trying to give you some more skills to do your math more easily. So they're going to find a friendly number. Sometimes it's easier to add or subtract numbers that end with 0. So they made 317 into a number that ended with the digit 0. So they made that 320. Then they used a friendly number and they added it to the 45 from the original problem. Okay, right here. And so it's easy in our head to say 0 plus 5 is 5 and 4 plus 2 is 6, and then we have our 3. We wouldn't necessarily have to write it down at the side. And then they're going to go back and take away this 3 that they added. So they're going to take your 365 minus 3 to be what? 362. So 317 plus 45 is not 600. Is 362. Okay, so let's look at the next one. It says use a friendly number to subtract mentally. They want you to take 275 and subtract 149. So they're going to change your 149 to a friendly number. Okay? And they're going to do it by adding 1, and that will be what? Okay? So if we have 275 and we subtract our friendly number of 150, again, I can do that in my head. 5 minus 0 is 7 minus 5 is 2, and 2 minus 1 is 4. Then we're going to have to add back that, adjust the difference by adding 1. Okay, so then we're going to take our friendly number, 125, and we're going to add 1. And at first I thought, oh no, we should do the opposite. But when we added 1 to take away from our original number, then we took too many away. We subtracted too many away. Because we made this number, we're subtracting 1 more. So we would have to add back that 1. So 126. So 126 is our answer. Let's look at the turn and talk. What mental math strategy would you use to add 352 plus 234? Well, I would add my ones and then my tens and my hundreds in this because I can tell there's going to be no grouping. But you could take this 2 away, right? And make it a friendly number. Let's try my way. What is 4 ones plus 2 ones? What is 3 ones or 3 tens plus 5 tens? 8. And what is 200 plus 300? 500. So you can do it like that. Okay, I want everyone, even at home, to go ahead and try to check your understanding on your own. I do want you to try and do it some kind of mental way. Okay? If you can't, then you can't. You can always try it mentally and then write it down. Okay? Okay, this is on your own for module 9, lesson 2. We're on page 248. It says use tools. Trent travels to Washington, D.C. for a business trip. He flies 454 miles, changes planes, and then flies 326 more miles. How many miles does Trent fly? Now, keeping with our thinking of we're going to use mental math, most of you told me you added your ones and your tens and your hundreds in your head. Or you started at your hundreds and you added that. Which works out fine, but you have to remember that you may have to regroup, right? So what if you did this? What if you added your ones? How much? What is 4 plus 6? Okay, so I would put that in my brain that I had 10, but I'm going to write it down so we're talking about it. And what is 5 plus 5 tens plus 2 tens. 7 tens, which is 7 tens. How much is 7 tens? 70. And then if I add 300 plus 400, how many hundreds do I get? 3 plus 4, nobody knows? 700 or 700, right? Now, I can easily take this expanded form number. It's kind of backwards to what we usually do. And I can say, well, I have a 7 in the hundreds place. What do I have in the tens? 7. Uh-oh. What do I have in the ones? What's that going to change for us? We're going to have to make that be an 8, aren't we? And then we wouldn't have anything in the ones. Okay? So it says how many miles? That's miles. Okay? This says use mental math. Well, what do I know about 6 and 4? They add to make 10. So we have one group of 10. What is 4 plus 2? 6. So if I add one more group to 6, I have 70. So I have 70. Now we're subtracting. I look at this and say, I want everybody to look up here. Every number in my first digit here, this 639, is bigger than the number I'm going to have to subtract from it here, right? 9 is bigger than 5, 3 is bigger than 2, and 6 is bigger than 4. So I know I'm not going to have to do any regrouping, correct? No regrouping. So I can just say, well, 9 minus 5 is 4. And I can say 3 minus 2 is 1. And 6 minus 4 is 2. Since I knew that all my digits over here were larger than the digits I was going to subtract in the place value. Now, is that going to work on number 7? Nope. If I look at my ones place, I already know that if they're wanting me to do 3 minus 6, is that going to work? No. Nope. So what could we do? We have to regroup. We are going to have to regroup. How can we regroup mentally? I can regroup mentally. I can say, well, 3 is going to become 13, and I'm going to subtract 6. And that left me with 4 minus 3. But not everybody can do that. So how could we make this? Could we make something into a friendly number? Or would it be easier just to write it down and subtract it? I agree. For most of us, it's going to be easier to write it down and subtract it. But like I said, once maybe you get a little older and you can really do math in your head, then you can do it mentally. Okay? So in my brain, I can regroup mentally, but I'm going to do it here written. 13 minus 6 is what? 7, right? 4 minus 3 is 1. And 9 minus 1 is, or 9 minus 8 is? 1. So 117. So if mental math takes you longer than writing it down, is mental math a good way to go? No, not necessarily. Now this one I could maybe do, because again, we're adding. What is 9 plus 1? 10. So I know I have an extra 10 to add. I could put it up there, right? What is 9 plus 2? 11. Okay, plus one more that we had to regroup from our ones is 12. And then we had to regroup again. So 4, 5, 6. Let's just check that if we did that right. Whoops. 620. If we look at 9, and we think of, are the numbers I'm subtracting from in my place value smaller than the number I'm going to subtract from them? Is 6 smaller than 8? Yes. Is 3 smaller than 4? Yes. So what is 8 minus 6? 2. What is 4 minus 3? 1. And what is 1 minus nothing? 1. Okay, so like I said, again, if this is hard for you, it probably is just as easy to write it down. Okay, and then in the next one, we're adding again. So here's another strategy you could use. What's my hundreds? 300 plus 200. 500. If you have to write it down, it's not mental. So, okay, what's 4 tens plus 6 tens? 10 tens, which is 10 tens. 100. And what is 9 ones plus 3 ones? So I have 500 plus 100, which is plus 12. 612. Okay, now this one wants us to use a friendly number. Which one of these numbers do you think you're going to make friendly? 397. What friendly number am I going to make that? I'm going to make 397, and how much am I going to have to add to it to make it to be 400? Okay. So then I could have, oh, it drives me nuts. Then I could have 574 minus 400, right? Equals, what does it equal? 174. Okay. Now, when I added that 3, that means I took too much away, right? So I have to add 3 back to this to get 177. All right. Go to your homework page, and we're going to do. All right. We had a little trouble with the recording, so we decided that we were going to start at 263 and add our 198 to that. So we took 263, we added our 100, and then we thought it would be a lot to add 10s, so we decided to add 20s. And we were trying to get to 90 since there's a 9 in the tens place. So we're at 20, 40, 60, 80. So we're going to have to add 10 more to get to our 90, and that's 553. And then we're gonna have to add our 8. So plus 8. And we know that 8 plus 3 is 11, right? That made us regroup one. So we should be at 561. Okay, so I had a little error, and we had to go back and change these hundreds while we have the recording off. Okay, so the answer here, remember they said how many hot dogs do the students eat? They eat 461 hot dogs.